Funtastic Friday here on News Talk 93 FM. Good evening. It's yours truly, Mr. Fresh Concepts, representing for the Funtastic Friday team here on News Talk 93 FM. Well, go on, everybody. I hope you guys are doing great. People, we're about to jump into our discussion section now. And for this week's discussion topic, today we're going to be looking at the do's and don'ts of Election Day. Yeah, the do's and don'ts of Election Day. So what you should be doing, what you should not be doing on Election Day 2025. So it's coming up on September the 3rd. I know everybody has marked the date pretty much right now. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Lots of different views I've heard so far. And, well, let's see what Jamaica decides on September the 3rd. Yeah? So while we look forward to the date and while everything comes down to that time, we want to ensure that we are fully prepared and understand what should be done and what should not be done when it comes to an election. All right? We know how Jamaica, might have a lot of persons might not be informed of the correct procedures. However, we here at Funtastic Friday are here for just that. We're here to ensure that we know what's happening and we are on the right path. All right. So, as you know, people, elections are more than just politics, right? It's really, as they say, a celebration of our democratic right. For many, election day is going to be exciting. It's emotional, filled with high energy, everybody coming out in their colors. Some people just like that part of the excitement. As you see them on the road already, the buses swaying side to side. I want to tell you guys from now, just be careful out there. Be safe. Be sensible as well. Because some of the things I'm seeing, I'm thinking this don't make no sense. So let's not get caught up in the whole silliness of this celebration, right? Be wise. If you're traveling vehicle, you don't need to have all your body outside of the vehicle. If you have a flag here, you can put out your flag and wave it. But be safe out there, people. Number one in my book is to be safe. All right? We don't want nobody getting injured, hurt, or harmed during the election activities. All right. So, we are here to ensure that everything runs smoothly. Voters need to know how to prepare and know what rules to follow. So let's break down what you need to know for the upcoming 2025 general election. When you're ready? Let me know if you're ready. When you're ready? Talk to me. All right, so we have Fiona on the live. She's saying, yeah, man, make conscious decisions. That part is very tricky. All I can say, people, choose wisely. Yeah, think about your decisions. But I know when it comes down to election day, a lot of persons out there, they're just going with a color. They're just going with a vibe. They're just going with whichever party give them something. It happens, But I hope Jamaicans think about it and make a more conscious decision as we look into the next year. All right? Well, the next couple of years, because usually about 4 years for each term. So, yeah, think about it. Yes, and Fiona says, yes, fully be safe. All right? Definitely. She says, present, I am here. All right, wonderful. So let's jump into the discussion topic. So, in order for persons to be voting on election day coming up, you must first be registered. All right, so the first step in voting is always to make sure you're registered with the Electoral Office of Jamaica, that's EOJ. Your registration requires proof of age and identity, such as your birth certificate, proof of address. Once you're approved, you'll be issued a voter's ID card, which is your golden ticket on election day. That's your proof that you are fully registered. All right. So in order to go through the process a bit, I want to give you guys some guidelines so that you are able to make the decision as well as be fully prepared on election day. Now, persons are asking, who can register to vote? Well, voting is entitled or an option available to every Jamaican citizen who possesses the following qualification. They will be entitled to vote, all right? Or actually be entitled to register to vote. Now, number one, you must first be a Jamaican citizen of 18 years old or over. And you must also be a resident in Jamaica. So that's one option for you, all right? So if you meet that criteria, you are eligible to get registered so that you can vote on election day. 2, You can either be a Commonwealth citizen who is 18 years of age or older and who is a resident in Jamaica at the date of registration. And you have to be a resident for at least 12 months prior to the date of registration. So you see that? So these are people who qualify to go down to EOJ and get registered. Now, another person who has the option of signing up to vote or being registered to vote, you must not be subjected to any legal incapacity to vote, such as being of an unsound mind, being convicted, or under a suspended sentence. So these are things that can prevent you from being registered. So for one, if you are in a capacity that you are of an unsound mind, you might be considered not eligible to register to vote. If you are convicted, you won't be able to go and get registered to vote. And if you are serving a suspended sentence, you won't be able to register to vote. All right. So to give persons an idea of the registration process, it's simple. As I said, once you're 18 years and older, resident of Jamaica, one, you complete the voters registration form, and it's available online, or you can go to your designated registration center or your EOJ outlet that's in your community or your parish. All right. Ensure that you have the necessary supporting documents that gives you proof of eligibility, such as your ID, birth certificate. Those documents will be needed for you to complete your registration. So you fill out the form, you bring your documents with you. All right. So your proof of ID, your proof of age, proof of address. Those things will be brought with you to get your registration complete. Once you have submitted your registration, the electoral office reviews your application and then documents to ensure that you are eligible and prepares your application. Now, once you have been approved, you will be notified of your registration and can verify your details on the voters list. In a short while after, you will receive your voter's ID card, which means you are now eligible to vote, and you are required to bring your ID card, that's your voter's ID, with you when voting. Simple as that. All right. Now, here's the rough part about this thing. At this time, if you have not yet registered, you won't be able to make the list for this voting process coming up at this election 2025. All right. So if you go and try and get registered now, you'll be added to the list, but it will be after election because it takes a time for the list to process. So imagine everybody running now to get registered. By the time they prepare that list, election gone. All right. So usually persons are asked to get registered. If an election is announced, usually they recommend at least 3 months before. And you know that we have less than a month right now, right? So you know the flexes, people. So next time, or for the next upcoming election, you go down to the EOJ office, or you go to the EOJ parish unit in your area to get registered as early as possible so that you can be a part of the next voting session. All right. For more detailed information, or if you want to sign up, as I said, to register, visit the ECJ website or the EOJ website. And they are also, you can also stop by the nearest office or give them a call. All right. So that's the registration process. That's the first thing that needs to be taken care of. If you're not registered, I don't know what you're going down to the polling station to do. Probably hang out with your friends. And we will talk to you about that, because you shouldn't be doing that at the polling station. All right. So once you have registered, that's off the bat. You check that box. Next on your list, even though you're registered, it's equally important that you check that your name is on the official voters list. So as I mentioned, this list is updated regularly, and names can be removed if a person moves or migrates or passes away. So it's very important to double check early so you don't face disappointment on voting day. So reach out to your EOJ office, check to ensure that your name is on the list if you have already registered. All right, ensure that everything is fine. Any information that needs to be updated, you do so before election day. No matter wait for election day, because that, yeah, will lead to other issues. All right, so once you confirm that your name is on the list, then we can look into the do's and don'ts of election day. All right, but before we get into that, people, we're gonna do that after the break. So we're gonna break at 7:25. So before we get to that segment, I want to get you guys in preparation mode. All right, so I'm going to give you some tips and pointers to prepare yourself before election day. All right, I see some comments jumping in on Instagram Live. Let me check them out. All right, so Fiona says, yes, be verified as well. Confirm your polling station ahead of time. Fiona always in a class and I read my notes, Fiona. All right, so as I mentioned before, I'm going to be giving you some steps to prepare yourself before election day. So these are things to do before election day. All right, then we'll get to the do's and don'ts of election day. So before election day, number one, you need to know your polling station. Don't wait until the morning of election. Look it up online or call the Electoral Office of Jamaica. Know where you need to go. Find out which polling division, where you're voting, where your name falls on the list, so that you know that you're in the right parish, the right community, because we know people move. So probably if you moved, you need to go where you are registered for, because that's how the list works. If you didn't go in to update it, you need to go to wherever you are registered to vote. All right? So that's number one. Don't wait until election day to do this, because guess what? Save yourself time, save yourself stress, and check it out before. Second thing on the preparation for election day. Keep your ID safe. Ensure that it is handy. Don't wait until election day to start searching for your voter's ID, because this is really one of your best bet to ensure that you are eligible to vote. Having your ID saves you time and makes the process a lot easier, because they won't need to have to find you on the voters list or search, because you'll have your voter's identification card. That makes the process much simpler. All right, next thing you want to do, plan ahead. Plan ahead, people. The polls open at 7 a.m. and it closes at 5 p.m. sharp. So generally no one is allowed or will be allowed to enter the line or enter the polling station if they arrive after the closing time. So plan out your day. Ensure if you're taking your lunch time, remember each person is allotted, sometimes it's basically 3 hours to vote. Yeah, so talk to your employer, ensure that you have your schedule set. Don't wait until election day to start making these plans. Put them into practice from now. All right, and the final tip I want to give you in preparation for election day is to stay calm. Emotions can run high, during the election season. Friend and friend start to argue and all these things. So avoid the arguments, right? Even among friends or family, it's not worth it. We understand that you have a preference. You can, you can select who you're choosing without an argument. On the day, you'll make your choice, right? So you don't need to take on anybody in any argument or any fights. So 1, know your polling station. 2, keep your ID safe. Ensure that you have it somewhere handy or put in your wallet from now or your purse so that it's available on election day. 3, plan ahead. Know when you're planning to go, what time of day. Check in with your employer to ensure that, okay, this is my time, so that you have those arrangements in place. And number 4, stay calm. All right? And we look forward to a great election process. I got the do's and don'ts of election day coming up after the break. Don't go anywhere. Fantastic Friday continues.